before this video starts, I want you guys to know that this video was supposed to be out yesterday. However, WWE decided to copyright my shit, which is weird considering the fact that the video coverage I use was from a YouTuber who didn't get copyright claimed, but for some immaculate reason I am. Just fucking imagine. Now, if you're wondering why I'm telling you this is because I had to use some video that was low resolution and was a little crappy. So if the ending is a little fucked up, just know it was because I don't want to get copyright and I don't want this video to get banned. Anyways, enjoy. Most people who never watched wrestling or even know what wrestling is, when they hear the name Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they think about the actor. However, to people like me who are wrestling fans, we hear Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and we think about The Rock. We think about the man that went toe-to-toe with Stone Cold Steve Austin, not only to see who's the best, but to see who is truly #1 in wrestling. He was the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, the people's champion. Every time The Rock's theme song came on, you knew he was going to get a good pop. He's just that memorizing in wrestling. You also have him making the greatest rapping debut of almost all time. Stop playing with him. On the other hand, you have John Cena. John Cena was in a different category of his own because he really didn't have anyone to fight to see who was the star child of WWE. Sure, there were glimpses of other people, but to be honest, John Cena was just that guy. He sold the most tickets, he sold the most merch, and John Cena is probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, accolade-wise. I mean, he is a 17-time world champion and has beaten many, many greats. And just like The Rock, if John Cena returns, you know he's going to get a huge pop from the crowd, whether it's Cena sucks or let's go Cena. You also put in the count that John's great acting career and has many, many great songs, and is also in a lot of memes to this day. Damn, Super Cena was overpowered. And even though they both were super huge in making wrestling into what it is today, they never was able to face each other. With The Rock leaving for Hollywood in 2003 and only coming for sporadic appearances, while John Cena was on his prime and making his bag, The Rock was never there. So we never ever got that dream match. Except for that one time in 2012. In 2012, at which, in my opinion, was the greatest WrestleMania I've ever seen. WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida, which was tagline, once in a lifetime, we got to see John Cena versus The Rock for the first time ever. I can't lie to you, this match was amazing. This was a very good match. Even though this card had matches like Jericho versus Punk, Taker versus Triple H, this match held its own. However, there's one downside. Yeah, Rocky won. Now, of course, that may not see as a problem since The Rock is, again, one of the biggest contributions. Cena was wrestling full time. The Rock only came back for this one match and was going to go back to Hollywood. Cena would continue his 2012 fighting with Punk. Meanwhile, The Rock would never return. This should have been Cena's win. And to be honest, this match would have been better if Cena would have won. However, there was a guy that was just so much in his bag. 2012 was his year. Throughout the span of 2011 to 2013, CM Punk ran WWE. It was his company. Of course, Cena was still there, but Punk just ran with the title. 414 days of straight dominance, holding the title, facing competitors that, in my opinion, shouldn't have been in the championship contendership. But since WWE was in a rebuilding period, Punk had to face some competition you wouldn't really see fighting for the WWE Championship. But no matter who he faced, Punk always made it work. And at that Mania, he had, in my opinion, the greatest match on the card, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. And in my opinion, they couldn't have put on a better match. This match was just so good, and the build-up was even better. Top 10 match, chef's. But even though CM Punk was in his bag, life happens. On a random episode of Raw in 2012, The Rock came back to announce that he was going to face whoever was the WWE Champion in the 2013 Rumble. And guess what? CM Punk stayed in his bag. For the entire 2012 calendar year, CM Punk was dominating everybody. He even had a heel turn at the end of the year, joining Paul Heyman. But it's time. It's time. CM Punk will finally face big boy competition than John Cena. And to be honest, I thought Punk was gonna win. I mean, why hype him up for the entire year if you're just gonna make him lose? Fuck. I forgot who ran WWE. But you know what? It's fine. We have another pay-per-view. CM Punk versus The Rock, but this time The Rock gets counted out or disqualified. CM Punk can win the title. All right, come on, Punk, you got this. This is your night. You lost to him once. It's fine. You got this. Why can't we ever have nice things? I just couldn't understand it. For the past year, you've been giving this man the keys to the kingdom, and yet you wouldn't even let him win. 414 days, and you did him like this. Now, sure, he did face The Undertaker, and when I say great, I mean phenomenal matchup. However, we could have had this, but instead, we got this. Why can't we ever have nice things? Anyway, in the city of New York, in the main event, at WrestleMania 29, two GOATs would go at it one more time. We would see two GOATs of different generations clash it at one last time. We saw John Cena, the challenger, the guy who lost last year, who technically dropped the bag, versus The Rock, the champion, the man who won last year's battle and is looking to repeat. Even though it's not the match most people wanted, the stage was already set, and we was going to see them clash one more time for the WWE Championship. To be honest, when I first saw this match, I thought it was boring because low-key, they were finishing abusing. However, when I rewatch it as a wrestling fan who knows a little bit more, I realized that they had to wrestle using all of their finishers. Since The Rock and John Cena are supposed to be taglined as two of the greatest wrestlers to ever exist, they would have to use a plethora of finishers to show that they're both at a stalemate, to show that they're both good, and to show no matter how many finishers you use, no matter how many times you put me down, I will still be fighting because you're not better than me and I'm not better than you. And to be honest, when you think about it like that, you start to realize it's fine. My favorite part is when they try to do each other's moves. For example, Cena tried to do the people's elbow, but then got caught with the rock bottom. With a kick out of two, of course. The ending was perfect. Rock goes for a rock bottom. He gets reversed into the attitude adjustment. 1, 2, 3. He did it. He finally did it. He beat The Rock after 1 year. He went from looking like this to this. After the build-up, all the hard work, John Cena finally defeated The Rock and was standing tall, and defeated a legend, The Rock. Even though I personally would have preferred this triple threat match, this match was amazing. Personally, I liked it better than the Once of a Lifetime match, but to each his own. Anyway, in the comment section below, tell me what your thoughts about this match was. Did you like this one or did you like the 28 one? Please let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching.